Hey guys, it's Floss. I was gonna do a what is on something fun and light and flippy and whatever, but there's been a lot of big world events happening lately, even today on Friday, where Britain has officially decided to vote themselves out of the EU, the European Union. And now, I know that it might seem like this has nothing to do with you, blah, blah, financial stuff and weird stuff, and I agree, a lot of it is very confusing. And what does it have to do with books? Why is it on a fangirl channel? Well, I wanted to kind of tie it back into voting and the right to vote and what we as Australian citizens enjoy, but also what we as citizens of the world should be doing in terms of voting. Now, I'm not going to push a political party or an agenda on you. That is completely and absolutely your choice. But the right to vote is one that people have previously died for, have fought for decades upon decades to get, and have had them taken away for reasons that include gender and race, financial status, religion. All of these things have factored into people's ability to vote up until very, very recently in some countries. Now, the right to vote sounds way more empowered than what it's commonly called sometimes, which is suffrage. I mean, that automatically sounds painful, right? You going down, having the right to vote, that's called suffrage. Ugh. In Australia, it's called compulsory suffrage, which sounds even worse. Like, who wants compulsory suffrage? If someone I said to you in the street, do you like compulsory suffrage? You'd automatically say no because it sounds painful. It sounds like a medical thing or a disease that you're dying of. It's not. It's the right to vote. Compulsory suffrage obviously means that you have to vote. In Australia, we are one of 32 countries around the world that has to vote. We're either, and if we don't, without a decent excuse, according to the different rules, you get penalised, either financially or through some other means. In Australia, I think it's financially. I'm not sure. You know, in terms of Australia and what voting means to you, it's things like money, education, how much you pay for education, how much we do or don't pay to protect our environment, how much we do or don't pay to protect our economic sanctions and our policies and things like that. So, you know, there's a lot of talk in the book industry about parallel importation. That will be affected by which party doesn't get in. This include things like marriage equality. Who we vote for will decide whether we actually have gay marriage be allowed or not. But what I would say, especially to some of the younger viewers of my channel, is that if you're not 18, it's important to have the conversation with your parents about who they're voting for, why they're voting, and to get them to explain the process a bit to you. Because it's important for you to know what's going on around you in that respect, because this will affect you. But it's important to vote. Like, think about it. If you're thinking, oh, again, I still don't understand why I should vote. Think of your YA literary heroes, think of your YA character heroes that you love and what they stood for. Vampire Academy, huge plot point of this was about the fact that Lyssa was trying to change the voting rules in terms of the Guardians and how they participated and whether they had to be protectors or what they could do, and Rose and that having a say in their own destiny. That's about voting right there. There's a whole political subplot about why you should vote in this. The Hunger Games, completely about voting in terms of the districts wanted to say in how things were going as opposed to being told about things. And people died in massive numbers before the Hunger Games even started and during the books to get back democracy and the vote and the ability to all contribute to a society. It was a big plot point of that. Cinder, huge plot point in this in terms of Queen Liviana and how she ruled her kingdom and then how the democracies were run across the world throughout this whole series. Everybody wanted a chance. You know, Cinder's whole thing was that she couldn't have a say in her society because of how much she wasn't or was a cyborg. That is completely about voting and who deems, you know, levels of interest. A Court of Thorn and Roses. Hello, Amarantha ran in the whole thing. People just wanted to say in how things were going. I just want to do this quick video about it today because I think there's so many people who argue and get upset and see these things happen around them and don't understand how much of a say they have in it. And if you don't show up to make sure that the voice that you respect the most gets heard, it won't be heard. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. I encourage you to participate in the voting process. I'm not asking you to go to hold up signs. Hey, and in Australia, most places, we get a sausage on the day. The democracy sausage, as it's known. We get fed. Come on. What? Good day out. And I know it does. It really feels like you see this stuff on the news and you think it's not going to affect me at all. It affects everything. So I would say, please, with a week to go before we vote in Australia on Saturday, the 2nd of July, please have the conversation with your parents or if you're 18 and above, please vote.